The young man simply poured a spoonful of well water onto the nearby field. Unexpectedly, as he walked away, the withered grapevine began to grow at an incredible speed. Unaware, the young man took a big gulp, thinking it was just ordinary water. Soon, however, things took a turn. He suddenly felt an intense heat spread through his body and was quickly wrapped by a giant spider web. Moments later, he broke free from the web. To his surprise, his strength had increased several times over. He could easily lift stones weighing over 1,000 pounds. He realized that the well water might be the cause. He hurried back to investigate. To his surprise, he found huge grapes growing at the top of the well. Excited, he picked a grape and tasted it. It was incredibly fragrant and instantly refreshed him. He thought if he sold these at the market, he could make a fortune. So, he quickly gathered some grapes and headed to the market. At first, people thought $80 per basket was cheap, but they were shocked to find he was selling them at $80 per bunch. People thought he was out of his mind selling fruit at such a high price, so he suggested they try before buying. One man, skeptical that these grapes were like magic, tasted one. Suddenly, he felt like an angel and his chronic back pain disappeared. He decided to buy 5 bunches. Others, thinking it was all a trick, tasted one too. To their surprise, the taste was so amazing. They immediately started fighting to buy his grapes. At that moment, a curious butler passed by and also bought a bunch to take to the billionaire. After eating it, he felt his breathing become smoother. To his surprise, it cured his asthma. He immediately instructed the butler to buy all the grapes, but the young man's grapes were already sold out. To earn more money, he worked through the night, clearing 2 acres of land. He planted various vegetable seeds and watered them with the well water. After a good night's sleep, the vegetables started growing rapidly. The next day, he woke up to find the field filled with large tomatoes. To hide the secret of the well water, he quickly picked the tomatoes and took them to the market. This time, he sold them for $20 per pound. A nearby vendor, not happy with the price, believed it wouldn't work. He thought if the tomatoes sold, he'd eat his own tomatoes. While the young man waited for a laugh, the butler was already crouching nearby. Originally, he came to buy grapes, but after tasting the tomatoes, he found them like heavenly peaches. He bought all the tomatoes. He introduced himself as the manager of a luxury hotel owned by a billionaire. He learned the young man's land had 2,000 pounds of tomatoes and immediately transferred $40,000. The vendor next to him was stunned. Who buys tomatoes like that? The young man realized that he could make a fortune soon. But unexpectedly, a photo came through his class group. They mocked him for selling fruit and not finding a proper job. The young man knew these people were just seeking attention online. So, he shared a screenshot of his earnings from the day. Everyone was shocked at how much money he made from selling tomatoes in one day. Those who once mocked him for being poor started calling to beg him to meet up. The young man, seeing their opportunism, hung up immediately. Just a moment later, the phone rang again. This time, it was the school's popular girl. He remembered she had a good character. When he was bullied in school, she was the only one who helped him. Now, years later, after learning he was selling vegetables, she introduced a way to help him sell them. Her uncle, coincidentally, was the owner of a hotel. The young man realized she was genuinely interested in doing business. So, he decided to repay her favor from school. He agreed to sell all his vegetables to her uncle. They set a time, and the young man began to think about which vegetable to grow. To keep the secret of the well water, he had to plant something different. So, he chose to plant cucumbers. The next day, he brought them to the market. As promised, the popular girl arrived. She was very satisfied with the quality, but when she saw the price, her jaw dropped. They were $50 each, dozens of times more expensive than usual. The young man explained these cucumbers were special. He suggested she try one. After tasting it, she was amazed by the sweet flavor. She was about to buy them all when a luxury car suddenly pulled up. It was his wealthy sister, who had come to mock him. She said she would take him home if he admitted his mistakes and stopped selling vegetables. But the young man refused to go home. He remembered how his sisters had betrayed him in his past life. They treated the adopted brother as family. But now, with the help of the well water, he wasn't going to let them interfere with his cucumber business. At first, they thought he was daydreaming. No one would pay for such expensive vegetables. But to their surprise, the popular girl had already placed an order. Even regular customers from the past came to grab them. Seeing this, the eldest sister thought it was just a setup. She decided to eat one to expose his scheme. But little did she know, these cucumbers were unlike any other. After eating, she felt like she was surrounded by male models. This completely shocked her.